All right. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed. As part of the ILO's Asia Pacific Regional Meeting to be held in Singapore from the 6th to the 9th of December, we're trying to get together voices, hopes, and fears and opinions of young people from across the region to be showcased at the meeting there. So thank you so much. And well, let's just start with your name and which country you're from.
Hi, do I say hi?
Oh, you can say hi.
Hi, my name is Devika and I'm from Nepal.
Nice. Whereabouts in Nepal do you live?
I live in Kathmandu, which is the capital of the country.
Oh. And how old are you now?
I'm 24 years old.
Okay. And what do you do?
Currently, I work in a policy research and advocacy think tank headquartered in Kathmandu, Nepal. I work in the Center for Governance and Academic Affairs.
That's amazing. How long have you been working there?
For just over a year.
Wow. And in terms of policy research, what do you work on?
I specialize in gender and governance, so I work on themes related to accountability, gender equality, social inclusion. So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's the job that you do now. But what job do you want to do in the future?
I think I had my first experience getting into academia. So I took a guest lecture at Tribhuvan University in the center, in the Department for Gender Studies. And I really enjoyed my time lecturing, I guess, students and having an interactive discussion with them. So I want to get into academia and potentially become a professor.
Wow, professor. And what professor of which subject, ideally?
Gender and politics.
Gender and politics. Wow, you're inspiring me already. So let's look at the other side. What job do you really not want to do in the future?
That's a tough one.
It could be anything, any job.
I don't know if this is the correct answer though.
There's no correct answer.
I think being a migrant laborer is quite tough because I'd be living away from my family, away from my country. So I think that would be difficult for me. So I don't think I'd want that in the future.
Fair enough, yeah. What do you think would be the biggest challenge to get a good job in Nepal then?
For young people, I think the opportunities that we have are still limited compared to other countries. I mean, obviously our market is getting better, but the amount of experience that you need to get a job in Nepal in a good organization, which is well paid and with good supervisors and mentorship, I think that's tough.
So work environment, the right kind of opportunities, yeah. So what's the general what's the general job situation like right now in Kathmandu?
I think it's really tough for young people. In fact, a lot of my friends, in fact, have been doing internships for over 2 years and still haven't found permanent placements because the number of years that people expect, employers expect, is very high. So that's one. Yeah.
And I think you've answered a little bit of this earlier. But would you, at any point in your life, go to another country to find a job?
Probably not, because I love being with my family. I've lived abroad all my life, so probably not.
You said that you wanted to become a professor. So what kind of support or help, for example, like access to trainings, would you need to land this job?
I see myself going into a government university because I want to see reform in that. So,
yeah. We talked a little bit about gender equality as well in your vision to actually work in this area. Now from your perspective, what are the barriers that women actually face in Kathmandu, in Nepal, to get the job that they really want?
I think for women, there are different hurdles that they actually have to go through because for a man, you're not questioned about whether you want to get married soon, whether you want to have a baby soon. Those are extra questions that women are usually asked. So So I think getting rid of the gendered stereotypes that yes, every woman wants to get married, every woman wants to have a baby. Like those questions shouldn't be there when you're trying to hire a woman. So that those are a couple of barriers I have personally faced too.
And do you think that there is positive gender discrimination in the labor market right now?
The government actually, in the constitution, there is 33% of reservation for women in the public sector.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
forgetting
in the
about
public
it.
sector. Yeah.
In the public sector. So yeah, there is positive discrimination, but that is again, is it followed by the private sector and banks? Do they actually follow 33% of reservation for women? Do they follow that? Because in government institutions, it's compulsory, but the private sector still has its loopholes around it. And who's checking? So yeah, in theory it exists, but in practice, does it?
So, what do you think really needs to change to help young people, especially young women, to get a job?
Trainings for sure. I think life skills, teaching you how to prepare for a presentation. I don't know if it's taught to young women. There should be, I guess, apprenticeship programs too, where you're like trained to get into skill-based trainings. I think that should be focused on more.
So, what makes a good job for you?
Work-life balance, definitely. If I'm having fun at my job as well as my life beyond my job, I think that's important. A good salary, definitely. I think in the initial stages, if I have a lesser salary, that doesn't matter, but later I do want a career progression and good salary. A good mentor is key to someone like me because I'm just starting out in my profession and I want someone to be there for me and guide me through the entire process or help me find my feet. Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. And well, what dreams do you have for you and for your friends for the future?
I think to be happy, I guess that's always important. Just to be happy wherever we are. I wish my friends were all in the country because someone's in the US, someone's in the UK. So I guess being in the same country, in the same city like we were when we were kids, that's something I see. And yeah, just doing well in whatever we're doing.
So, in December, leaders from across your region will be meeting to discuss issues around the world of work. What would be your message for them? And these are leaders from across the Asia Pacific, from the government, and from the employers, and from the workers, and whatever. And yeah.
Can I say raise teachers' salaries?
So, but what is the key? I mean, you did discuss a few issues.
Yeah,
So
I think state school reforms, especially in Nepal, I think that is key because education builds your entire career. If your education's good, then you have, I guess, a future in your career. If not, then I guess it's difficult. So state school reforms in Nepal specifically, private schools are really good, but our state schools, there's teacher absenteeism. There's a lot of issues that go on behind in state schools. I think that is definitely something that should be looked into. So our education being a national priority is what I would say.
So, if you were the leader of your country, what would you do to help young people get good jobs?
Create more apprenticeship programs, invest more in the education sector, and better trainings for our teachers as well, and encouraging more teachers to get into government schools. So yeah, I think strengthening the capacity there.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, I think that's quite that also leaves not just us inspired, but it also provides us a roadmap as technical specialists, as people who are involved in shaping the world of work in the future, a future that is for the youth, the one that the youth will inhabit. It serves as a really good roadmap and a direction for us all. So thank you so much for your time and for doing this. And this video will be sent to our regional office, and either snippets of this or the entire video will be probably displayed at the APRN meeting. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
All right.